Obviously, the first thing I noticed when I looked down at it is it's a lot bigger head.
Yeah.
And we talked about obviously getting the fatter grips as well.
Yeah.
Was it how many layers of them?
So that's got +4 layers onto it. Yeah. That's massive.
We've got 4,000. I just over the next week I've got some massive announcements to make, but for today this is going to be a club fitting. We're going to get a full bag of golf clubs, of wedges, irons, long irons, fairway woods, driver and putter. I already know which putter I'm going to have. Today's just a fitting video. Next week I'll be coming up with a proper announcements video with this partnership and what it means and everything that's kind of entailed with it. So let's go get fitted.
What is your number for an 8-iron?
158, I think it was. Almost, wasn't it? That's another thing I was going to talk about today, is getting some fatter grips. Been using this because I have like a counteractive grip. My left hand is strong, my right hand's weak.
Yep.
I wanted something to like help separate them apart a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, okay, no, that is, yeah, that's probably jumbo almost.
Yeah. So something in between that and what I've got at the moment would probably feel ideal.
Let's actually go for about half a dozen first, and then we'll see what goes on from there.
Right. So what with that shot, what sort of clubs would you recommend?
I'd say probably take up a different sport.
Do you reckon? do you
I'm probably going to take the upright angle out of the golf club.
Really?
Although you are tall and statically you need more upright golf club.
Yeah.
Obviously we're seeing your natural with your swing path and your direction being a bit right to left.
Yeah.
Would a standard line, or maybe just 1 degree, would that change that effect?
Okay.
The good thing we're seeing up there though is that we're getting enough spin that when it lands it's not suddenly bounding through.
That should be. Yeah.
So you look at that club path, you look at that face angle, those two together, that's very pleasing. So what have you got in those?
Project X65 load, is it loading zone?
125s. So I think what we'll do is we'll keep that similar sort of weight of golf shaft.
Okay.
Try just a little bit heavier. Certainly keep you in the X-Flex, there's no argument, no qualms about that at 95 miles an hour. But maybe if we just push you to 130. So we'll go through the irons first, and obviously for the standard you're at and what you're trying to achieve with a golf club, the ability to be able to shape the golf ball. Yeah. We've probably got 2 or 3 heads that we'll try with you.
Okay.
MBs. Yeah. And that's a personal preference. We'll have a chat about that. Definitely we'll look at X Forged as a good player's option, ability to shape the ball with forgiveness. And we'll look at the new Apex Pro, which again has minimal offset, a little bit more sort of user friendliness in terms of forgiveness levels, but also as a 2-piece forge process, maximum ball speed. Ball speed's not necessarily what we're trying to maximise, because you already generate a lot of ball speed, but never hurts. So we'll probably test around those kind of 3 club heads, get your feedback on the feel, the look at address, and then ultimately we'll look at the numbers. So I wanted you to do just literally left foot, sort of there, just face this way. Okay, good. You can relax there. So again, if you go sort of old school way there, so 6'2", 38, that would say to us that for a Callaway club we'd be looking at 1 inch over length. But again, that's a piece of paper. That's our starting point. We'll hit a couple, we'll see how you feel it's set up, whether it actually changes the way you address the ball. Negatively or positively, and then we'll move back, but definitely over length. Start off by using this sort of stock shaft if applicable. Okay, we'll do this. We'll start off with the 120 X Flex in here. Obviously it'll feel a little bit lighter, so I need to get your feedback on how it feels through impact and whether it feels stable or not.
So this is 1 inch longer than standard?
1 inch longer than standard, so the first couple of shots I really won't worry about. But what I will be interested again in your setup and the position you're in, whether it feels like you're actually being moved.
That was nice.
Good strike.
Chunky.
Lovely strike.
That was nice.
I'll keep an eye on, although your spin's dropped a little bit. Okay, so you were like 6'2" before 6'3". You're now 6,000. If we then look at your carry total, I'm not seeing it 10 to 12 yards on it where it lands and it finishes.
Within a smaller package, not getting that flyer.
Down, although it's got a little less spin than your own, when it comes down, it's coming down at an angle that it wants to stop. You've got control. That was actually a better cocktail. So if we actually ignored that one that went to the left there,
about that.
You know, I actually quite like that dispersion you're seeing there off the centre line. You're 4 or 5 foot either side of that. You know, nobody's perfect, but 4 or 5 foot is not going to cause you too much issues.
That definitely feels heavier.
So again, with this one, especially with what you're working on there, I want to make sure you can still feel like you can achieve that, and not something that's become so heavy that you can't.
I know what you mean.
Swing it. Started pretty straight. Let's see where that.
Pretty common theme. That was nice.
A very solid cock shot there. Actually, pretty straight as well. I don't think we can see the down.
No. That was a bit left. That wasn't as perfect.
Is that just the same track as the last one?
Okay. I do prefer the feel of the 120 shaft, to be fair.
So what we'll do then is we'll go with the same shaft, but we'll go to our 120.
Okay.
That's going to be pretty similar. So that's coming back.
But that's the miss that we're really working towards, is the, in general, like short right, because it's obviously less trouble. The main time I get into trouble, and especially with the driver and the longer irons and woods, the long left destructive shots. So we're just working on trying to keep that bad shot short right if possible. That was a shove. As he hits it left. That's nice. That was lovely.
You know, I'm just looking at the landing areas. And say with yours, you know, that's the white circle there. Yeah, that's pretty good, pretty tight. But I'm looking at these numbers here: 184, 185, 186. That's your land with what you've just been hitting there.
Okay.
And even your one where you hesitate, you just leave it out a little bit to the right hand side, which you're happy seeing. Your carry's not affected. That one there's gone real right. It's probably carried the furthest. You know. But
so we're looking at more pin high shots that way rather than when it goes right, I'm not worried about it coming up short, and if it goes left, it's not going to be the end of the world long left either. It's going to be.
You know, again, I'm not that distance is the sort of be all end all, you're looking at a couple of yards further through the air than your current set of irons.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm happy with that. Ball speed with yours is 132.
Yeah.
With ours it's 133. And spin rate 6.5. So fractionally lower spin with ours. Probably why you're just staying in the air a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I said to you earlier, you're still only looking at about 4 yards, 5 yards between where it lands and where it rolls out. So what we've done, we've gone with the Epic Flash Sub-Zero again, 9-degree head, and we put in the hazardous smoke, so our stronger kind of stock option there, coming in at 70 grams, quite low torque. So it should work with what the club head speed we're going to see with this.
Cool, and we set it up so it's fade bias now, isn't it?
We have, yes. We've
So
moved
you
that
can
way
hit,
across.
like a couple of snappy ones with the rogue.
Well, that's actually, to be fair to you there, that's some club head speed there. So obviously with our, when we were doing the irons, you've hit a lot of golf shots.
So now I've had a bit of a rest.
Bit of a rest, that club head speed starts to rise there. Well, I just said you couldn't get any higher off the ball speed, you did, but the club head speed went up a little bit more.
Shall we go for the fairway woods then? Let's have a look through that.
So that shaft actually felt quite comfortable, doesn't it?
Feels nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, isn't it? Bloody hell.
I've got to be careful of that because that could almost go too far. Yeah. So we might have to dial that back.
You must be saying that to him.
Wow.
You don't need anything else really, do you, off the tee? Just put it on the floor and hit it 315.
Any golf courses where you're going to worry about hitting a 3-wood too nicely off the tee.
That feels so nice. So what have we got in there? We got the same shaft as the driver.
Same shaft as the driver, but it's the 80-gram variation.
Yeah.
So 80x in that. You've got the Sub-Zero with the weight at the front of the face again, just for speed and control.
Okay.
I'd actually argue there that your carry on that one's very similar to the previous couple.
Yeah.
But there, because you've got a little bit more spin, you didn't see it.
It's nice. Bullet.
That is probably
You get a decent range video of that.
the nicest feeling few shots I've ever hit. That's so, feels so flush.
It's found the middle of the face.
But even that,
320.
I'd say you didn't quite catch that, but that's probably on the golf course.
2-1 spin.
Honestly, probably on the golf course, you may want to think about adding some loft onto that.
Do you reckon?
Just to give you,
What loft is that?
that's 15. So the X4's UT, 18 degrees, so like a nice strong kind of driving iron for us.
Yeah.
Ball sweep was good.
Nice that.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice. So we're going to go for the Project X shaft, or are we going to stick with the same shaft as the
it's
irons?
just, I don't have that same shaft we've got with the irons. I don't have it in that head there, so we'll go with the same shaft all the way through.
Yeah.
We know the head's going to work for you. We've just seen that there, so I think that would just sit quite nicely between 3-wood and your longest iron in the bag.
For my game.
So obviously what we want to give you is a club head that's going to give you the most forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of shots in there that we're maybe a little bit worried about. So by maximising the sweet spot, by putting the weight as far around that head as we can, we've just given you, well, basically you can't miss with that.
Yeah. Obviously the first thing I noticed when I looked down at it is it's a lot bigger head. And we talked about obviously getting the fatter grips as well.
Yeah.
Was it how many layers of them?
So 4,000 layers of tape underneath that. For some reason we've gone with the graphite shaft. It'll just be interesting to see, you know, the speed you're going to generate from that.
Should we believe it?
Let's see what you can do.
It's a little bit, I'm not going to lie, it does feel a bit heavier.
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of weight to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stability.
And we obviously wanted a longer shaft because I'm quite lanky, but...
Probably not quite the right lie angle though, but...
Okay, I think we can manage it. Well... That's just... Well, that's obviously gone so far that Trackman hasn't actually picked that up, but it felt good. So we'll put that in the bag.
Sure, yeah. I think we'll have to maybe get you a bigger tour bag.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually going to quite... no, that's not going to go in, but obviously we can manage to get a bigger bag. So. So we go through what we've got here. Should we start with the
Start with the driver then. So as we've seen, we're going to go with the Epic Flash.
Yeah.
We're going to go 9 degrees with a 70 gram X shaft, just slightly shorter than standard in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Low spin, high ball speed.
Yeah.
Just fade it over there, just because we've had that little bit of right to left. Match that with the fairway.
That I just absolutely bombed that.
Yeah, if I'm honest, it takes a lot to impress me, but generally that was quite impressive, some of those numbers we got out of that there. This is going to be a bit of a rocket.
Yeah.
Like I say, on course, you may want to just experiment whether you're going 15 or 16.
Okay.
You know. But as off the tee club, that's going to be great.
That's unreal.
Same shaft as the driver, just moving into the 80 gram variation. Driving line, yeah, X-Force UT, coming at 18 degrees, so it will just sit at the top end of your bag.
Yeah.
Kind of running out to about 270, which is where that was carrying, your 3 was carrying to about 277, 280.
Then irons.
But obviously the feedback we got from you was the feel off the Apex Pro was great.
Yeah, it just felt flushed.
I would say that the head design, you know, what goes into that club head, gives us because speed, which we saw from that, but also then you get that feedback, you get that feel. Plus, you can have a little bit of playability, a little bit of workability.
With the wedges I've got at the moment, I feel like there's too much bounce on it. And like I was saying, back down where I play, sometimes there's not much sand in the bunkers, which we're like quite familiar with. And I found it just sat up a little bit too much in the bunkers, and also playing off tight lies. I like to see that leading edge is a little bit closer to the ground, if that makes sense.
So with your lofted wedges, then we said we're going to go with the kind of the aggressive X grind, which has got a very sharp, very low leading edge, but then the bounce comes into the back there. So when you do lay it open and you kind of come underneath it,
you can still use it.
The bounce is still there to help you. But off this kind of lie, obviously we've got a mat in here, but off that kind of lie you see down at your neck of the woods, you'll be able to get that kind of clipping off the surface of those linked golf courses, and on where the bunkers aren't maybe as good as they could be.
Hopefully chip a little better off those tight lies at Swanton. James, we could do with some help, couldn't we? So are you okay to talk us through the sand putting lab that you guys have got set up here and what it kind of does and what it measures, etc.?
So we introduced the Odyssey Performance Centre about 18 months, 2 years ago, to ensure that the guys that come to us can get the correct head compared to what they, their alignment story, what helps them to line up. Yeah. But then also get the right length, get the right lie angle, get the right loft. Yeah. When you walk into a pro shop and you see hundreds of putters, just helps to kind of help narrow that down. What we're currently using.
Yeah, I've still got my old rifle in the bag, and I've had this for about 10 years, I would have said.
Let's just check on what the loft and lie is. I'd ask whether you know, but not many people do.
I do not have a clue.
So 275, 71.
It might have been a bit bent over the years.
I would say so slightly upright compared to say what an Odyssey putter would be.
Yeah.
But pretty similar loft off there.
Okay, so just trying to hit that white line or little flat down there, right?
Yeah. Just make sure it's on the white spot as well every time. Give you a similar starting position, because that's what the computer's recognising as 0 now. Where do you feel you aim?
I feel I aim pretty much straight at it. Obviously feet that distance left the target, just very basic. Wow.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let you. But again, if we look at this part, yes, you started it open, but you were closing it through the stroke.
Okay.
So hand-eye coordination is probably helping us here. We'll just experiment, right? So you set yourself up.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you to start closing that. So close that putter. Hold it right there. Now, where does that look like it's pointing?
Left of the.
Interesting. Okay. So that's dead square, pretty much.
Is it? Yeah. Shall I make a stroke from there?
Please. Yeah. So what you do.
That's perfect strokes, basically. So
if you sit there, look, that's great because you aimed it brilliantly with my help, obviously. Yeah. But you can see there, you did the same thing you do before, which is you close a club face. So we can stand here all day long and go, yeah, let's get you aimed straight.
Yeah.
But it almost, for us, doesn't matter where you're aiming because of where it finishes.
Okay.
And at impact, you're closing that club face. So we look at the impact position there, you're closed. Whereas before, you start the putter open, you close the face through impact, but then that actually returns it close to zero.
So that just shows you how consistent the strokes become over time, basically.
So you aim right, you square the blade up as you come through impact.
I can't believe that. I can't believe how far off that is.
With a fairly, again, through impact, a fairly straight arc. But you do bring a little bit on the inside.
Okay.
Which I would imagine then that would have meant our spot would have been just a little bit toey.
Okay.
That's the blade at impact. Well, I'd much rather see that blade at impact close to zero.
Yeah.
Because it means the ball starts on the right line. What sort of head shape are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about going to the Franco.
So obviously what we would need to do is still give you a putt that's got some toe hang, because we're having to feel that blade to release a little bit. Okay. So what we do have is that kind of fan style putter, be it Las Vegas or be it a stroke lab, that has the little slant hosel, which then gives you a high MOI putter, but with a little bit of toe hang.
Okay, so half drop.
So sort of conventional wisdom would suggest that sort of head shape wouldn't necessarily work, because we're trying to get that, or you are seeing your hands sort of rotate and release the club head. Like I say, because that's got that slant neck, so it gives us a little bit of toe hang.
Yeah.
Should, in theory, work for what we're trying to achieve.
What putter did you go for, James?
I went for this one, mate.
Let's have a look.
This is the best looking putter I've ever had. This is just a conventional San Diego, which is a conventional shape. Just beautiful.
So what you do really well is you generate topspin, but you're 5 degrees up into it, and your hands are behind the ball at impact. So it's almost bouncing away.
So what you were saying to James earlier, that he'd putt well on quicker greens.
Yeah.
What would you say to me?
Same thing.
Same thing, isn't it?
And also, you think there as well on a slower green, without something, it's almost bouncing away.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, it's losing energy every time it's bouncing.
Got you.
So I would say that actually you should putt a little bit better on the quicker greens.
I think I'm subconsciously now trying to close the head.
As I said to you there, I don't want you to worry about that, because if you think, you could aim that thing between your legs for all I care about. As long as it comes back square, that's the key thing. So look at that, so you open at 2.9, but you're closing it at 2.4. So you're actually at impact, you'd only be half a degree away from zero.
Did you say 0.7 is much? How's it? Can you relate to that?
So over this distance, we'd hit the hole.
Right.
Probably move it 10 foot further back, and we might be struggling then.
So from this distance, what would you say outside the cup would be? So each cup, would that be like?
About a degree.
A degree.
Degree point, 1.1.
That's quite a lot, isn't it? In terms of the actual hole. So your max you'd like to see, would that be like 0.5 then, around this?
Around that.
Ideally.
Ideally, you wanted 0.0, ideally.
Yeah.
But
What are most thought pros that come in here?
they're pretty close to being 0.0.
Yeah. Nice.
So what you have there is still a very high MOI style of putter. So I think if you're going a little bit longer with your stroke, that becomes a little bit more active in terms of how much movement you could have, potentially. So by having the MOI style putter, it won't twist or turn. Tendency to slightly hit the heel.
Okay.
You're not quite catching the centre of the putter, but that's not going to move on the off-centre strike.
Okay.
We're only talking a couple of millimetres, but still enough on a traditional blade that potentially the head could twist or turn. So on the longer putts, when you're making more of a movement, I'd actually say it's going to be a lot more stable for us. It seems you're right. You're very comfortable with how that kind of sits behind the ball.
Yeah.
Plus, as I said before, high MOI, forgiveness, stability on that longer putt, but also a little bit of toe hang. Just allows the blade to want to rotate through.
100%. Love it. Perfect. Thank you very much. So that was an absolutely amazing day here at Callaway. Got fitted, full bag, everything, and yeah, I'm just absolutely over the moon. I can't believe how far I was hitting that 3-wood. It's ridiculous. Over the moon to actually be in this position to have things like this happen. It's It's amazing to think that journey we've already been on over the past year, and it's obviously thanks to you guys for supporting the channel and continuing to watch and enjoy the content. So got some other big partnerships coming up which I can't quite talk about yet, but that will all be made clear over the next week or two. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.